Good afternoon, my peoples, the universe, the world. Happy Friday. It's King coming back after a little while, a little hiatus. Had to take a couple of weeks off so I can gather my thoughts about the world around me, what's going on, absorb that, inhale the air, and just take it in and ingest and digest, and so I can spew it back out in a proper format that's fruitful and helpful to everybody that I love and care about, which is anybody that deserves to be loved and cared about. I want to discuss today faithfulness versus unfaithfulness. And I'm not necessarily talking in terms of relationship between male and female. I'm more so talking about the relationship between beliefs, ideas, and ideologies, which entail a level of faithfulness and unfaithfulness. For instance, if you're dealing with other individuals who don't share the same beliefs as you and the same ideologies as far as love, honor, truth, respect, righteousness, treating other people the way you would like to be treated. If they don't share those same belief systems, those same ideologies, at some point during those relationships, you're going to be cheated. For instance, if your belief system is truth, honor, integrity, trustworthiness, loyalty, just treating people in a way that you want to be treated, and somebody else's or the people you dealing with conduct themselves in a contrary manner where you know you're truthful, they lie, you're trustworthy, they steal, uh, you're dedicated to your religious moral beliefs, and they spew religious moral beliefs, but they're not dedicated to it, they don't live it. So I call that being unfaithful, because you're not subscribing to the same ideologies that the righteous person or the person who's trying to hold themselves up righteous subscribes to, but you still want to maintain a certain friendship or relationship with this person, but it's going to be imbalanced because one person being honorable than another person being dishonorable, the scales are, it's going to be unequal. It's going to tip in favor of the unrighteous person. It's going to be, because it's going to be so much weight on that side, and the other side is going to be light because righteousness is light as a feather. So in those type of relationships or situations, you're going to fail. You're always going to fail because you can't deal with an unrighteous person righteously and win. What I mean by win is come out, you know, feeling vindicated or justified or just spiritually balanced. You're going to feel taken away from, deprived. Your energy levels are not going to be right. Your equilibrium is going to be off because the giver needs to receive as much as they give in order for balance to be restored. So if you're giving because you have a giving nature, you're just a natural giver, and somebody's just taking, and manipulating and taking advantage, and you're just constantly giving. At one point in that particular interaction or relationship, you're gonna feel cheated. You're gonna be feel drained of your energy because that person was not faithful to the same ideology, to the same moral ground that you stood on. One person is trying to manipulate and capitalize while the other is trying to accommodate and bring about some type of remedy to a situation that they feel needs to be remedied or addressed. But a lot of times, the situation that you're trying to remedy, or the person in that situation that you're trying to bring some type of vindication to, they don't have that same type of love and compassion for you to make sure that you're all right, to make sure you're not overexerted physically or emotionally, and likewise things of that nature. So these things I consider being unfaithful. It's not always a physical thing that a woman cheating or a man is cheating. Those are physical unfaithfulness. But unfaithfulness could be just like, you say you believe in something. Like you could say, I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim and this is my belief system. And then when those belief systems are tried and tested in real time, then you fall short. You're not, because it's like now when it's time to show the application of these teachings or these moral grounds or religious principles that you stand on, you fall short, because the word can be righteous while the heart remains unrighteous. So let me say that again. The word can be righteous while the heart remains unrighteous. So I can spew out all types of righteousness verbally in my word, but then when it's time for me to manifest that righteous action, I'm not faithful to it. So I fall short. I can say, oh, well, Jesus said this and Muhammad said that. And then when a situation arises where I have to apply these belief systems in real time and I'm dishonorable, at this point, I'm being unfaithful. I'm being unfaithful to the belief system that I claim to subscribe to. And unfortunately, we have too many people that I call them sound technicians, because they can regurgitate massive values of information that they either read in some type of religious book or self help mastery book, or they might have heard a great conversation from a great orator, and they can memorize these things and spit it out in conversation. But then in real life, in real time, when it's time to apply these moral and religious belief systems that they claim to subscribe to, they fall short. They can be thieves, liars, manipulators. Some people master these things. They master the art of sounding good, being sound technicians, but they're not faithful to the belief systems that they promote. And it's up to you and I to identify these type of people by their character traits and decipher how far we're willing to entertain those relationships. I mean, you can separate yourself when you realize that you're dealing with a sound technician, a spiritual vampire, or you can keep entertaining it and just, allowing yourself to be drained in that environment. But it's not a healthy place to be. So I guess I would consider a faithful person in that context is somebody who makes claims and they subscribe to those claims in real life in real time. If you claim to be honorable, that should be shown in your action, how you interact with people. If you claim to be trustworthy, your action will dictate that, you know? And if you are these things, it will show in how people relate to you because they'll trust you with certain things that they don't trust other people with. They'll trust you with information. They'll trust you with their valuable possessions. They'll trust you around their children. You know, your man might trust you around his lady because he's like, your character has already proven that you wouldn't violate your friendship or your brotherhood over, you know, some chick that you find appealing, but it's not your chick, it's your man's chick, you know. Like me personally, all my brothers, my mans, they females is totally off limits to me because that's an honor that I have towards them. That's a respect that I have towards them. They lady, that's my sister, automatically. Just an example of, you know, being faithful to a ideology or belief system that you subscribe to. Um, Something else I wanted to discuss. I'm off the faithfulness and unfaithful thing. I wanted to discuss the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm not gonna be long winded. I just wanted to just put a few thoughts out there in the universe, and hopefully you receive them, and it gives you something to reflect on, and maybe come back at another time with yourself and internalize and dissect and digest these things and be able to clear up, decipher what's really going on with this particular movement. Um, for one thing, I'm just going to make a few brief statements. I know, as me being a direct descendant of two Black Panther parents, that had my father been alive to see this movement right now, he definitely wouldn't agree with the puppeteers of the movement being in control of this thing. Like we never had a revolution that was commercialized, that the people who are the movement is supposed to be about are not the ones in control of the movement. That's really something to ponder on and for us to look at and decide as a people, is this the trend we want to go with, or do we want to really get down to the nitty gritty of the situation and take the power back and do what we need to do specifically for our communities instead of delegating that control and responsibility to people who really don't have the genuine love and compassion that the righteous ones of us have for our people. Because I'm not going to say all of us have that love, but I mean, I would be in error saying all of us have that genuine compassion and love for our people, seeing all these negative things that are taking place in every hood across the United States of America. I mean, it's crazy. In Chicago, we had 14 people get injured at a funeral because it got shot up. Like, you know, I can't say Black Lives Matter in the manner that I would like to say it when I see that Black life does not matter to all Black people or so-called Black people, because you know, people, melanated people, brown skin, dark skin, melanated people, um, Black lives matter to some of us, but not all of us, because if it mattered to all of us, there would be no funerals getting shut. That would be just off limits. Shooting up a funeral, like I mean, people are going to grieve and mourn their dead, and we have groups of people that look like us coming to these farewell events and shooting them up to bring more death, more grief, and more mourning to the same people that look just like them, the same people that face the same circumstances as them. You know, black lives have to start mattering to black people on its entirety for our movement from the grassroots level to be taken seriously. I'm not talking about this commercial revolution that they got going on. I'm talking about the movement of the people that live in these disenfranchised communities all across the United States, every city, every borough, from New York City, five boroughs, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan, uh, to California, Watts, Compton, you know, Inglewood, every city USA, man. We gotta really like come together as a people. We need the communities, the elders in the communities, the community leaders to step up big time because our communities are being traumatized by a recent surge in violence due to police de-escalation. And part of me is asking, was that a part of the plan? Because it seems like all these things are happening in succession, like chess moves. Like, okay, we do this, and then once we do this, then that happens. Because before the defund the police slogan and activity took place, before all of that became like the popular phrase, we wasn't seeing these just national surges in violence in every city, every hood across the United States. You name every hood in the United States, is the same cycles are going on. You know, just a upsurge in violence, senseless violence. I mean, things that normally the hood, you know, certain things just was sacred, like women and children. That used to be sacred. You know, now it's like dudes is going to barbecues, having shootouts. You know, strays hitting babies. You know, it used to be a G code where like, okay, if it's women and children around, you know, we can't do that. We don't shoot up funerals. You know, like these things are crazy. And it makes us look real bad. You know, to on one hand, we walking around promoting Black Lives Matter. And on the other hand, we're allowing our hoods to be traumatized by people that look just like you and I. Like a couple of weeks ago, I saw one of my mans, you know, around my old way. He's street certified. You know, he's, you know, I guess what you would say about that life. He an OG. And I hollered at him. I say, yo, my dude, like, what's good? Peace, brother. And we kicked it. I say, yo, you know, you be out here, like, you need to talk to some of these young homies out here, man. They wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta reclaim our streets. And out of respect, the brother received my message, and I'm pretty sure he did his part on a righteous tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we gotta do. Like, each one teach one. We gotta start talking to each other and organizing and reinstilling those street codes where certain things was just off limits. You know, women and children, funerals, barbecues. The beef can never be that serious. You know what I'm saying? We got to take our streets back. It got to be to the point where we we feel safe with our kids going outside. We feel safe with our children's mothers, our wives, our aunts, and even our uncles, our sons, like, come on, man. The streets ain't safe right now. It should never be that. Not in the hood where you live at. It should never be to the point where, like, damn, if I walk down a block, dude's gonna just start clapping, sporadically, and am I gonna make it home? Like, Black Lives Matter was to address police brutality and unrestricted, relentless violence against melanated people. But what happens when the melanated people are committing these same acts against each other? Like, that has to matter to us too. And we need to take action. We really need to take some type of responsibility for our neighborhoods, where we live at, where we have children, where we have wives, where we have mothers of our children, where we have mothers, grandmothers, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews. I won't feel right until our streets are safe. I can't wholeheartedly say that Black Lives Matter until I see that Black lives actually matter to Black people, or so-called Black people, Nubian people, right here in the United States of America. And that's the end of my message for today. I'm not going to be too long-winded, because I know sometimes I get over passionate and I can be super long-winded. But I'm going to end it on that. I just hope y'all receive the message and what I'm talking about, and take that in, and go back to your neighborhoods, go back to your hood, and start the dialogue, and let's come up with some plans and resolutions of how we going to take our streets back, how we going to make them safe again. Peace and love. I'm out. King.